So, we're back. We're 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're finally recording in the Nobody's Famous podcast on episode 6. I know we pushed the number back. We had a 0.1 episode. We pushed the number back, and we're back finally with a very, very special guest today. Always we have special guests. And today we have none other than Kevin Nijns. I see what I did there.
Oh, yeah.
That's your name.
Gotcha.
I asked you before it was recording.
Cool.
And I got it.
That's interesting. Yeah, okay. First of all, thank you for having me. It's the first time I'm doing something like this, so it's really interesting for me as well to learn something new. And it's really cool you're doing this. So that's the first thing I want to say. And he actually got me a protein bar, so that that raises the level a little bit.
Now everyone's like, I see why now. I see why. Please tell me more about your tattoos. You know?
Yeah.
What you tell us? Let's start with that. You know?
Well, it doesn't have specific stories, but it's not like, oh, this one means this. And no, not really. But actually, the arm, it's all pieces from the Sistine Chapel in Italy.
In the Vatican.
In the Vatican, yeah. Okay, so you have the one famous chapel. Sorry.
Okay.
And it's actually pieces from the wall paintings, and it's been put together.
Really?
Yeah.
I can see that now.
Yes.
I can see that part.
Yeah, correct.
Oh wow! Yeah. But then you have a clock at the top. Is that also?
No. That's something different. So it's actually until here, and then here it becomes something different.
Okay, so it is. I make a tiger to here, and then here is a poem. I create poem, but they are not related, huh?
Actually, this fits together a little bit.
Yeah, no, it does. That's why I thought they were the same.
Yeah, no, but this is being created, and then it goes further down as well.
Really?
Yeah,
further down.
It's not finished yet, but it goes all the way to my foot.
It's not finished yet.
No.
Did he just tell us that he has the biggest tattoo on Earth?
I need to state that it's not happening here, so I'm going to to get it done.
Okay. It's not finished yet.
No.
And like Kevin's a pretty tall guy, by the way, guys. I mean,
it's an ongoing legacy. Yeah.
And I have a funny story actually about the Sistine Chapel. I went to visit it, and when I was I was visiting the Sistine Chapel. You reach a point that when you get there, you can't go back to any place else in the Vatican.
Okay.
So I was with my friends who couldn't care less on the tour. They just wanted to do the tour and be done with. And I felt like a dad buying them the tickets. And these are my friends. So we reached the point of no return, let's say, and then you have to go to the Basilica and you can't come back.
Yeah.
But inside the Vatican, there was these paintings for Raphael, and
very famous.
The frescoes,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
And I know it's so specific, but I really wanted to see them, because I had studied them and I really wanted to see them.
Yeah.
So we reached the Sistine Chapel and we're about to leave, and the guide's like, "Okay, guys, if you want to leave and you want to stay, you need to go back to, you need to stay here. You cannot come back to this area, whatever." So I was devastated. Like, no, we're not gonna see the
Those
rooms.
damn security people.
Yeah, I'm like, what a nerd am I? Like I need to check them. And then I went up to my friends and, guys, do you mind? And they all had the blankest faces ever. Like, no,
zero interest.
We don't mind. And so I asked the guide and I told her, I really want to see them. Can I, let's just, it's fine. We'll see the Basilica after, I can see it from outside. I don't need to go. And she's like, it's okay, fine. Just can I have your the recorder so you can hear and whatever. And all the people are like waiting, right? So it's not just me and my friends. Everyone's waiting. Like, who's this guy that really wants to see those Raphael frescoes?
Special, yeah.
What? Why? And then so she takes the stuff and she tells me, okay, sorry. Okay, great. Nice to meet you. But what's your major? And I'm like, economics. And she really thought like I was this history guy that really wants to see those frescoes. But that's the story of
Well, I've never been there. That's the funny part.
So you this is not done because you went?
No. Okay. No. This comes purely from a big book with all the paintings which you can find.
Okay.
And I just find it interesting, but I've never been there myself. That's the funniest story. Yeah,
that's so funny. Yeah. How did you choose this for the tattoo? You're going through the book one day, cross-legged, just sitting. That would look good. That would look good on a tattoo. How did you choose that? It was so weird.
It's been a couple of years now, so it went a little bit out of my memory, but it's there now. So
Okay.
I wanted to keep it like between reasonable and not like the skulls and things like that.
Yeah, there was some of the parts of it are a bit you can't really have them there.
I always thought that if I put like a little bit of history in my arm, it will be acceptable. But
no, but it's cool. Like I've never. I mean, I don't meet a lot of people with tattoos, but I mean, it's interesting that.
Well, and I know a lot of people say, "Oh, but if you put something like that, it needs to have a meaning." Okay, that's personal. I do have some that do have a meaning, but that's private.
Okay. Did you get that?
and they're not visible for everybody, so that.
Okay. Welcome to TMI with Kevin Nijns.
Let's see if we're 1 hour in. Maybe I'll drop it on the table.
Maybe. Okay. Cool. Well, it's great to have you.
Thank you,
Kevin, and it's a pleasure. I'll start by asking you a question that I know you prepared for.
Did I?
Which you shouldn't have, I think. You said you're like, oh, I have to prepare for one question.
But I didn't say which question.
Okay. So I just we
see the chess game going on.
Yeah, it's happening. I don't want to play chess with you. I don't want to play chess. Knight to G4. I didn't mean that. So sorry, mate. No checks. So the question is, what do you think of the name Nobody's Famous?
It's actually a name that makes you think.
Okay.
And you have to think a little bit further than just a couple seconds. But it's a name that fits the whole concept. Nobody's famous. How do I say it best? It's he's waiting for my
take your time
for my answer. You'll have to see it actually like we're all just spirits in a human experience on the world. Because we're all kind of special, it levels each other out, so it makes it nobody special.
Always diplomatic answers. I love it. It's good.
I try to.
Yeah, it's good. We'll go on to. I heard you're interested into astronomy, and
a little bit. I am actually. I'm very amateur, very amateur.
Okay.
And it didn't start that long ago, but I really have an interest in it. Yes.
Okay.
That's one of the reasons why I like to in the weekends escape the city, and just that's the places where you don't have light pollution and you have the nicest views when you look up.
Okay, so you just go. Well, yes, obviously. So you just go out like into the desert or just anywhere, and then just have a look at the.
Well, we have the luck here. The desert is the best place to go.
Yes,
it's very quiet, no noise, no light, and you can see the most beautiful things up.
Okay, and you go with a telescope? Wait, I just had this image.
No.
Because I just had this image. Yeah, I know. I was just about to do the same. It's like, let me get into my Wrangler. Here's my net, and here's
and you see a telescope sticking out.
It's just all this manly stuff,
that might be and a globe and books and.
Yeah, I don't know why I imagined that. You're in like a Wrangler, and then the trunk of the car. There's like there's like an army backpack, a duffel bag here, and like some dumbbells if you were bored and stuff, and then you get to the desert and they're like, here's my telescope.
Well, it's a little bit less sophisticated. I didn't come to that point, but you brought me on an idea.
That's probably a really good idea. You should take one.
What I do, actually, I already thought about it, but I'm not to that point yet where I actually know where to look at. So for me, it goes more to in the weekend, if you're in the desert at night, it's beautiful to watch. But for me, it's mostly now also reading a lot of stuff, knowing how they discovered it, what's been discovered, and how actually everything fits together, which makes the universe. So that's something I'm getting deeper into now. In all my free time in the evenings, and I do reading and try to
on astronomy. Or just
well, astronomy and in general the universe
Okay.
as a package, yeah. But I'm like I said, it's just starting, so I'm not that.
No. Well, still,
but I'm interested in it. Let's say that
that's
way.
cool. I mean, it's certain things you learn in school and you just forget.
Yeah.
And you take things for granted. Like it's, I mean, I guess it's just general knowledge thing to kind of know that why in certain parts of the world it's hotter than others, and
Yeah.
the positioning
Well,
of the axes.
and actually, to see the Earth from a better view, you have to see it from the outside. You have to start what's surrounding us, and then
Yes.
it makes more sense of what's happening on Earth.
Yeah. True astronomer here, an astronomer in the making. I'm telling you.
Neil deGrasse Tyson. Oh, he's an astrophysicist, actually. Sorry, that's an insult. But
Okay. Now we know what to cut out.
Martin Krause, he might come close, but no. Got it.
Okay, great. Well, Kevin, before we jump onto some other topics, maybe it's good if you give us some background on you, who you are.
I'm not allowed to discuss that, sir.
I'm trying to ask indirectly. Like, please tell me more about this subject,
Okay. Yeah, well, we can.
I mean, you can tell me about yourself first, like where you're from,
so
your hobbies, that kind of stuff, and then
cool.
maybe
Okay.
you'll slip out something,
Well, I'm born in a small village in a small town in Belgium 34 years ago.
I like how he said his age. I love it. I was born in a small village 34 years ago.
And
Are you telling me a story?
And that's where the story started.
Yes.
And I grew up actually in Belgium my whole life. I went to school. I didn't go to university because that didn't work for me. And I wanted to start working as well myself. I mean, to support myself, to support the family if needed. And then after school, I went into the military security side of life.
And it's suddenly increasingly interesting.
So yeah, I kind of learned how to shoot.
Oh, wow. Please tell me more.
And get more into the physical performance of it. But I was actually quite rapidly after training drawn into diplomatic side of the business because apparently I was looking too friendly to to scare anybody. So they said, okay, let's put him in a suit. And so a lot of things what I did was actually I was placed at, I started from the bottom where you basically stand at an embassy.
Started from the bottom.
Yeah. I had to stand almost 12 hours a day.
Oh, wow.
So I know how it feels now as well for what I do, but we'll come to that. So I basically started like that. Also hotel security, where I had to go with the persons, the diplomatic team that we were assigned to. If they had to stay in hotels, I had to stay at the hotel door. I had to pee in a water bottle, things like that, because I couldn't leave my position.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Because it's high profile, but there's no budget. So
yes,
it's like
balance.
a balance in between two. So that
there's some balance though.
Yeah. And then slowly I got better chances where I can actually travel with the delegations. I have to travel with them through Belgium, arrange transportation, deal with the police and so on, and coordinate everything.
Yeah. Interesting.
And I did that for a couple of years. And in the weekends, actually, I was working in nightclubs at the door, and I was doing. In Europe, it's mostly you have like local communities or local organizations. They hold parties.
Yeah.
Every weekend on Friday and Saturday, just it's like to finance everything and things like that to make money. And then they need security as well, so that's where we work. But it always involves like alcohol, and so it becomes
rowdiness.
It becomes a little bit wild sometimes. And that's where I got my first lessons in the University of Life.
How to punch someone in the face.
Well, it's actually first you receive a lot of punches, and then you learn how to react. That's where I started picking up more into training. And actually, I never did martial arts. I did do the proper English boxing. I trained in that. Well, it's more like
I know, no, but the old style is.
the old style,
old style's like this.
yes.
Yeah. I'll get you, laddie. That's the.
That's the Irish style.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because I've always been lucky in these kind of situations where my colleagues and myself could handle us. So I've never been to the ground, but I took a couple really hard. So yeah, that in this kind of work in these parties and at the nightclub especially as well, that's where you learn how to deal with people in a normal way, and sometimes, unfortunately, in another way as well. But you learn that it's not worth it, and that it's
of course.
better to resolve it in other matters. Yeah.
But going back to when you're working, let's say two jobs.
Yeah.
Was that something that was really tough for you?
It was tough because in the weekends, of course, my friends all went out to party and so on, and
you're punching them. Hi, Kevin. You're not supposed to be here.
Well, it doesn't make me look nice, actually, but
I can imagine. So everyone's going out, And Kevin couldn't make it.
Yeah, and I was, and the worst part, I'm actually in the same scene in the nightclub life, but I have to see the bad side of it. And that's why I don't know. I don't have any need, or later on, after I did that kind of work, I didn't have any need to go out because I always saw
You saw it. Yeah, you were there all the time.
I saw it all the time. So the good things, the bad things, and for me, it always lasted. Of course, you have to stay until
closing.
Everything closes, and it was just it was hammering. Luckily, I was young and full of energy.
Yeah.
So
those 12 hours standing, huh? Give you some help.
The beginning of that gives you respect for
exactly. Give you some help for those nightclub days.
Oh yes, yeah. So actually, a lot of times what happened was I finished on Friday, like 5-6 o'clock. I went home, I ate, and then I left again. Or my colleagues picked me up, or I picked them up, and then we drove together straight to the place where you had to work, because they normally open at 9 o'clock, and then they stay until 6 a.m., 7 a.m. open. Yeah.
I want to ask you. I heard that and you don't have to talk about it if you don't want to. I heard that you got stabbed. Is that true?
Yes, that's true. But for all clarity, not here, of course.
Yes, okay.
No, it happened. For the same company, I used to work also as it's like a department store in Belgium. It's one of the biggest ones, and I was head of security. So it's like 3 levels of store, and they sell all luxury brands and luxury perfumes, makeup, things like that, all mixed. But it's all the big brands. And I was head of security there for 2 years. But we had a lot of issues with basically literally gangs coming in. They just grabbed whatever they could and they ran out again.
But not at gunpoint?
Not at gunpoint, no. I've not experienced that, or I didn't hear anything. But what happens, these guys come from the big city, like Brussels and so on, with the train. They come for a day to that city. And their thing is just to get as much as possible for free and then leave again. And it was a big issue in that time. Police had a lot of issues catching them as well, because once they're on the train, they're gone and nobody knows where they're gone. So my duty was actually, my guys were actually in uniform, like security, and they were standing at the doors and like it basically deployment. And I was in civilian clothes, and I was just walking through the store, basically me and a colleague. And our duty was actually to stop them. So we got informed by our colleagues, okay, this guy is suspicious, or from the CCTV operator, he said, okay, these guys are planning something, they're doing something. And we just had to wait for them outside or at the door and then catch them. Snatch them and take them. And in these cases, I got, one time I got stabbed with the scissors. You can actually see the...
Also, one time I got stabbed, there's more than one time?
There's more, so one time I got stabbed with the scissors because they want to get it. So they always carry or scissors or a knife to cut off the alarms of the clothing. because there's like
the
specific
tags.
the tags.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they try to get it off. So they always have something with them where they can stab with. So one stabbed in my arm. I got in my thumb. You can still see the scar. I got stabbed here in my thumb. Luckily, every time it got fixed very.
I like the
quickly.
contrast here.
Yeah.
I like the contrast.
Only my thumb that was quite serious because it was wide open and the blood was really dripping. And so that was. But for the rest, I got really lucky. And then after 2 years, I said, "Now it's enough." And then they put me somewhere else. So yeah.
I mean, that leads me to my other question: is in those times when you were working there, or you knew that the job was, let's say, to a certain level, dangerous.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Obviously, it's not like you're in a secure bank and you have to be holding a firearm and all that kind of stuff. But in those times, and when you wake up in the morning, like, what do you feel? Like, do you?
You just wonder constantly what's gonna be today, because especially in the summer. There's specific periods. In July, August, it's very busy. Busy as in they come and visit a lot. And in November, December, because of the holidays, they steal and then they sell it on the black market because it's easy to sell in these periods of times. So in these periods, it was always, okay, it's going to be, again, something. What's it going to be? It's going to be a surprise. So, yeah. And in the end, actually, it became to a point where we were allowed to wear step-proof vests under our clothing.
Well.
Because the director of the store said, "Now it's enough. I don't want any of you guys getting."
But this is also just a department store. Like
it's actually that's the worst part. It's purely what they were stealing were perfumes. But you have to imagine they come in. They have a bag prepared already. So the bag is with aluminium foil, so the alarm doesn't go off.
Okay.
I shouldn't be saying that, but there are techniques to cover up the alarms. Okay. And they come in and they don't care about anybody. They act for 2-3 minutes like they're, but you can pick them out. You know if they're planning something. They look at the cameras. They know the positions. They just go to the area where they want to be. They start loading in. It goes tick, 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 tick. They load the bag full and they run out. And it's for thousands. I'm counting now in euros, but if you recalculate in terms, it's a lot of money. And you have to imagine every single day is a big loss for the
of course. I mean, all of that stuff is all that stock is just gone.
Yeah, correct. So that's why they wanted to invest in us being there, but eventually we have to had wearing like a protective gear, and it became. It was a big issue, and even police, they were like, "Guys, just be careful because this is ridiculous." But then, after 2 years, I've had it a lot of running and a lot of catching.
Not like that. It's not happening now.
Yeah.
You know? Now it's different. You know. Now I'm in a golf cart. You know.
Now it's a golf cart. Just and then that's where I moved out of that business. For a little bit longer, I kept doing the nightclubs and so on. But then I got a very nice offer from the company where I started more doing in executive protection, like private persons, businessmen and so on.
Okay. So nothing like nobody from like embassies or anything?
No, it was more like business people and private families. Actually in Belgium, who just wanted somebody to be around. It was mostly me and my colleague who in shifts or together, and then we just had to. It's basically following the person all the day around. He goes to meetings. You just be present. You keep an eye on his moves. You keep an eye on who's around him, because mostly there are always like.
I find this so interesting.
The reason why these people actually do it, it's not to feel important. No, most of these people who actually do something like this is because there is something against them. Somebody said something against them, or they said, "We will come for you," because these people have a status within their company. They run a big company. They have a lot of money, and they have a family as well. They have a private life, and somebody cannot stand that, or he got fired from the company, or something happened to them.
Sometimes out of spite, simply.
Yes, there we go. And they bring out a message to that person saying something will happen somewhere. And that's where he finds it needed to have, because it's not fun. Believe me, for him it's not fun either, that we're constantly behind him. And he said, yeah, but keep a distance. Yeah, but we don't keep a distance.
Yeah, of course. Just the reason I find it so intriguing is, as you have to be noticing so many different things, and you have to be like memorizing movements, you have to be understanding who this person is meeting, and that person is just living their life normally, which is what they want to do.
And sometimes even if they hire us, they get annoyed with us as well, because we're always behind them, and they cannot do any of their private things, what they're used to do. They cannot do it now because we're there. So it becomes, you actually step into their lives. And then you want to stay as low profile as possible, but you know that there's somebody behind you at all times. So
nobody's famous.
Nobody's famous.
Still comes with perks. Okay, nice.
And then from there, I took the decision to get some additional training. So I went to Las Vegas to get counterterrorism training through a fellow, somebody that I know from in the business. He got me linked to somebody in that company. A referral, yes. And they said, yeah, come, sign in and come over. So I think 2 months after, I took the flight to Las Vegas. And it was really interesting because you have to imagine it's the American way of
that's you're going to a different world.
And they go all in. But it was it's a good experience, and it learns you a lot of stuff that you normally wouldn't think about. It learns you the how to react in worst possible cases. Hopefully you never need it. You probably won't ever need it, but if it occurs, at least you're aware of it and you're prepared for it. It doesn't make you a James Bond or anything like that. No, it's real life, and it just makes you aware of the dangers that can occur. So that was quite interesting, yes.
Okay, and did you stay in Las Vegas?
I stayed in Las Vegas, during
How long did you stay?
That was 3 weeks.
3 weeks?
Yes.
Oh, that's just for that training?
Only
and
for
then
that.
You came back?
Yes, correct. So it's not, you have very lengthy trainings where it goes to 6 weeks, 2 months, but there is a limitation of how much or how long you can spend there as well. So I took it's like it's not a basic course, it's like the in between, but in 3 weeks you can learn a lot. But they take you into the world of.
Man, I think you're selling yourself pretty well to a lot of people.
Am I? Okay, yeah. My number, by the way, is.
You can DM me on Instagram for all your body protection needs. It's like, do you want a bodyguard? I know you don't like the word. Do you need executive protection? DM me on Instagram. On seriously, it's like almost. Suddenly, can you imagine your Instagram profile if it was like that?
Oh God, no!
It's like you're on the job and you're protecting someone and you go like selfie. Like, well, hey, this guy.
That's the worst part of the job. I've seen now here as well with Doreen a lot of artists, and I've always been close to the stage, and sometimes you stand next to them and I don't have a single picture of any of them.
Well,
it's part of the job. It's part of the job, but I have nothing to look back at.
I know what people are saying. They're asking you, Kevin, did you meet all these artists? And you go like,
yes. Oh, show me.
But where's the pictures?
I was not allowed to.
It's like, they just mock your job. It's like,
when I just started here in the country, we were doing the security for Dubai Film Festival. And that was exactly the period, 2011, 2012, when Tom Cruise was coming here as well because of his Mission Impossible movie. I couldn't take a picture. I was like, no, don't think about it. I cannot. I have to be professional.
Yeah, you can't.
No, I can't.
You have to be.
And on that moment, you're focused on other things as well. But afterwards, it comes to your mind like, oh, yeah, he was just standing there.
Exactly.
So, yeah. But that's part of the job. I accepted it.
It's something that you just go like, you know, at the end of the day, they're just another human being, you know, and
They're the same flesh and blood as we are. And then after that period, there was a new period in life. And that's where
I got married. I'm joking.
I never got married. Well, that's out now as well. So then they came up with, okay, we have, because the additional training and so on, and we have now a new thing. We gonna put you on a ship. I said, on a ship? Okay, explain. So what we did is, for a German company, they had a lot of container ships passing by from Egypt to Yemen to Dubai, India, South Africa, back to Dubai, where you have to pass Somalia.
Oh.
So on that route, that was the time where it was kind of risky to pass by. So that's where I ended up on container ships to guide them through.
Honestly, you have an amazing range.
Well, that's the reason
from
why
caves in Belgium to container ships, man.
Like I said, I started from
the
down,
bottom.
and that's where I never got married because I didn't have time for it.
You're on container ships.
So the time I was in Belgium, or the time I got off on that period, is actually okay. I could enjoy. You learn, you get to know somebody, and then what are you doing? Oh, I'm spent 3-4 months on the ocean every single time. It doesn't work. So yeah, every single trip was like 3 months roughly. We would get on board in Egypt, and then from there we would live on the ship. Then they would go to Sudan, Djibouti, Yemen, before it was. And then from there to Dubai, India, South Africa.
Wow, that's
up
such
and down.
a long trip.
Yeah, it's long. And most of the time as well, if you go towards South Africa, there's not much to do. It's very easy. You spend 2 weeks in the open ocean. It's only
just docked, right? Like anchored.
Yeah, when you travel, it's open sea, and once you're in the port, it's mostly 2 to 3 days standard. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer, like maybe a week, but that's the maximum. And then you're back on your track again because the ship unloads and then offloads and then gets new loads, and that. Yeah. So it's
but you're acting as security for.
Yeah, correct. So we are an armed security team on board.
Armed security team.
Yes, correct. So actually, it's once we go into national waters, everything gets locked up and sealed. But once we get into international waters, the law is different. So then we're allowed to protect the how do you say it in English? The sailors? The sovereign state of the ship. So the ship becomes an own entity.
I understand.
Okay? So it's like...
It's just cool. I never knew that.
Yeah.
I mean, like I had some idea, but I didn't understand.
It doesn't mean you're allowed to do everything.
Yeah,
no,
obviously.
but you are allowed to protect yourself from any incoming danger. That's the nautical laws and so on that plays into it. But because there are a lot of issues in certain areas where you had to pass through with the ship could make another route, but that would cost too much money to evade. So they chose for it to have security on board and go through it. Yeah. And that's actually how I came into contact with Dubai, because we went a couple of times into Jebel Ali. And I needed some supplies which you can't get on the ship, like simple things, and they told me, okay, we know somebody in Dubai, they can supply you, and then you can leave again. So I met that person a couple of times, and then a little bit later, I think my boss got a phone call from the people here and said, well, we have a job opening, so do you mind if we contact him? Okay. And he said no, if you want to give him the chance, why not? and that's now 7 years ago.
Wow. It's just that something that's so random.
Yeah,
It's so
yeah.
random.
Out of not expected.
Container
actually.
ships, and you ended up
Yeah.
here. That's,
Yeah. So and then they gave me the offer. I was like, okay, in open sea for 3 months, or in Dubai on the golden roads, and
Yes. Well, we do have one thing, which is aliens.
now you come to my favorite side.
Yes. I heard you were. So let's complain about aliens.
Aliens. If you mention the word, people go like, no. Aliens might be something else than you might think of. It's not the green little man with the 2 spikes on the head. It's more like, it's not that. Okay, the question will be, do you believe or do you not believe? Well, the answer is, I don't know. You don't know. You don't know are we alone? Are we not alone? And both times it's scary. Are you alone in this universe?
Exactly.
It's scary.
Yeah.
Are you not alone?
It's
Well,
still
you
scary.
don't know you don't know what's outside. I would be amazed if we would be alone on this huge, vast area, open area, with a lot of planets, a lot of stars.
It is definitely this topic where, like you said, it's just weird to think that, you know, since in our solar system we can't find anything, means is it truly the case? And just for me, what boggles my mind is the scale.
Yeah.
The scale of how huge things are, and you just go like,
it's almost difficult to grasp, to get it in distances that take. It's if you see a small distance from here to the moon, that's nothing.
yeah,
Everything what goes out there, it's
just
ridiculous.
insane. That's what just makes me, because we like. Oh, first of all, we don't even have the technology yet.
Yeah.
To reach these places where there might be something.
We might have, but that's another.
Yeah, that's something
No.
we will not know. But still, it's. I mean, the concept of knowing or just trying to find out is just.
And you have to think about it in scale. If you see, for example, we'll take a local example, the Burj Khalifa. It's a marvelous building with technology that's never been done before to build that high. This has been done in a time period of going from walking on foot,
Yes.
pulling a cart, in a matter of speaking, in a time span of 100 years, a building like this arises. If you have another evolution where they are more or longer already in evolution or ongoing, what can they do?
Exactly. What does the next 100 years look like?
Yes, and if you have another species that is already more advanced, but that's you don't know. Maybe there's nothing.
Yeah. Again, it's just one of those things.
But if you see what humans can do in a short time period, imagine what they do in the next 100 years.
That's true. But again, that's another problem, because we look at it as, oh, what can we do in the next 100 years? But like you said, there might be a species that is
There's already a couple thousand years in.
not even. They're just this. It's unfathomable. The things that we even think of.
Yeah.
You know, they're time traveling. I don't know. It's just this crazy things to say. I don't know.
No, okay.
Hyperspeed.
You can call it crazy, but if you think about it, it's not that weird. It might.
I mean, like for example, I am into like sci-fi and these kinds of things, and I like to learn about these kinds of things. But sometimes, you know, it's just sometimes easier to not even think about it, because okay, if you know, like I'm saying, like I'm not an astronaut, right? So it might not be beneficial to me to know.
Yeah.
But like just maybe someone normal, you know, their time in life is probably always going to be on Earth. It's never going to be somewhere else.
Yeah,
you know?
we're not going to move to another. We'll always be here. So maybe it's, like you said, it's not worth it.
Unless you get picked for the colony. And then you just, you leave. You have to leave.
Actually,
can you imagine that? You have to leave everything behind.
And you won't return.
You can't come back. You can't.
That's ridiculous.
That's insane.
That's weird,
I
insane.
mean, that's
Actually, I signed up. That was last year. They sent a probe. I think they already did it. They sent a probe to Mars, and I signed up. So my name is on the hard drive that's in the with NASA. I saw it by accident.
Come back, Kevin. You won't come back.
I don't think so. No, but I saw
that's a one-way trip.
Yes.
You know? It's.
It looked kind of cool. I saw it on the NASA website.
Cool. I mean, it is cool. It is cool. You are like, let's say if that happens, you're a colonist on Mars.
No. I mean, my name. No, what they did is they sent. So they put a hard drive with all names.
Okay.
Who registered, and then they sent that to.
Okay. I thought.
No, not myself.
No. I thought you were registering to be. I thought you were registering to be a colonist.
No.
That's what I thought.
No.
But that's
I'm probably already too old for that, for training and so on. So.
But can you imagine that kind of training? I mean, you've done that already. Like,
yeah, but if
Kevin's
you see,
like, what do you mean, container ships? You know, like I was unloading them. You know,
that didn't need cranes.
Yeah, exactly. Can you imagine that kind of training?
But if you see what NASA astronauts go through, it's ridiculous. They're not allowed to get sick. Basically,
I mean,
they will put a couple of G's on their body, and they're not allowed to move. In a matter of speaking, so
that's you see all of these
different
things
kind of human.
You see all these things in the movies, and it's a lot of the things are inaccurate, right?
Yeah.
So your best bet is to actually just read them.
Actually, a lot of movies they depicted inaccurate. However, the last one of the last movies like Interstellar or The Martian, they were.
Yeah.
I think they came
fairly
close
accurate,
to how they depicted it. So that gives a good rough view of how it would look like.
I mean, would you think about becoming an astronaut?
No. I'm not smart enough for that.
No, well, it's not. I don't think smart is the. I mean, you definitely have to be. You
have to be a professional in one of the things that they need. Like you have to have an astrophysics, or you need to be a biologist, or
well, you mentioned The Martian, right? And that movie focused a lot on problem solving.
Yes.
And I think that's one of the things. If you're someone who's
you have to perform under pressure.
Yeah, but also know how you can, but someone can perform under pressure, which is usually, let's say, someone who's being given the orders, right?
Yeah.
Like you can perform under pressure, but maybe you can't solve the problem yourself.
Yeah.
Whereas, for example, in that movie, or, a skill that it's required is being able to solve the problem without any external help, let's say, in case you were isolated somehow,
Yeah, true. And I wonder actually how the movie would go if one of the other people, because he's a botanist, so he knows how to grow food, which is important. Imagine if one of the other people would be in that situation.
Yeah, I mean, definitely.
So it really depends on your skills and problem solving. Yeah, I agree.
That's what obviously you have to know rocket science. Can you say that? You have to know rocket science. You have to know physics.
And you need to know which way to go.
Yeah, exactly.
Mars is on that side.
Yeah, piloting definitely basic navigation skills, but being able to be that person and who's let's say to understand the physics of the machine that you're in and to do calculations on the spot.
It's ridiculous because I would be still sitting there. Oh wow!
Yeah, is that the Earth? I didn't know that was Pluto. It's true. It's true.
Pluto is not a planet, by the way.
Well, hey, that's up for debate.
According to Neil deGrasse Tyson, it isn't.
I don't know. If it doesn't want to be a planet, that's fine with me.
It's all the way out there, freezing, and we leave it behind. So,
but yeah. I mean that thing is it's a fascinating subject, and it's sometimes I think it's sometimes inexplicable or just unbelievable to think that there was at some point everyone thought that the world was flat.
Do you really want to go in there?
I mean, we had this discussion before. Don't talk to those people.
No, it's true. If you see a couple 100 years ago, how people thought that it was, first I thought, okay, we are the center of what's happening and everything turns around us. Oh, it doesn't turn out to be that way. We are turning around everything else.
Yeah.
We seem to be only our solar system. Oh no, there's more behind it.
Yeah.
So it grew, and it started all from, we're on a disk.
That's true, but I think that's even that concept. If we didn't have that concept, we wouldn't have been able to go to the next step.
Yeah, it's a stage.
That. And I think we're even also at this stage, how we kind of started this discussion is there life somewhere else, right? And we wouldn't be able to, let's say, if the technology exists or if it will exist, we wouldn't be able to know had we not asked the question in the first place. So.
Correct. That's a valid point. You have a phase, you have to go through it to go to the next phase.
Yeah, definitely. There's gonna be a phase where you're like, it's scary and
this is new.
Yeah, we're at that point where we know the world is round. We know that there's a solar system, there is a sun, and then you go and then you reach that point again. You go no, there can't be life on outside our solar systems. No, that's not true. You can't. And then you just have that phase, and then you never know. The same person might be thinking, there is life somewhere else.
And that's the thing. Yeah, you don't know. That's the exact answer you can, because
a good answer, man.
That's something we need to,
as opposed to saying there is. We just haven't found it yet.
Yes. But like I said, in both scenarios it will be very scary.
So let's do one last question.
Sure. Fire it.
Yeah. What's that?
Fire it away.
Fire it away. I thought it's like you're fired. Okay,
you're not good at this, I'm taking over.
It's just one show. My question is, we're going back to at least a bit of the show. Is who, in your opinion, is the most underrated artist in our world? And it doesn't have to be someone in the movies. It doesn't have to be a celebrity. It doesn't have to be music.
Just one person that's underrated.
Yeah, someone in your opinion who's, or even it can be a thing, but something that's underrated. I mean, we lean towards a person, but
Ooh, that's a deep question. So, the person that's underrated, it's not an artist, but it's somebody who the world doesn't know a lot about. Nikola Tesla.
Okay.
He's not the inventor of the Tesla car. Let's make that clear.
Yeah, okay, obviously.
But I think that person, he deserves much more for what he did in his life than what he actually gets, because you don't learn about him. And he is actually, if you want to spread it out easy, he's actually the inventor of the wireless internet and the cell phone, because in his time, which is the early 20th century, he is the one who already knew how to transmit things wirelessly, electricity wirelessly.
This is insane.
It's insane.
It's insane to think that someone in that time.
And he noted it down in one of his notes that I found. It actually mentions there will be a wireless device which you can communicate with each other. And that's been written in 1905 or 06. That actually describes a cell phone.
Insane.
And the thing is that Edison, the one who invented
his competitor,
he actually he stole the ideas of Tesla, or the basics of Tesla. So Tesla, he didn't want to take patents and things like that on what he invented, because he wanted to give it to the world. But somebody else took it and put it under his name. So I think Nikola Tesla deserves much more credit than he actually got.
I swear to God, this is probably the best answer we've ever got. I just want to say it. It's just straight to the point, a person and just someone who's underrated.
It just dropped me. Yeah.
And the thing is, he is famous in certain...
Yes, in certain communities.
He's famous, right?
Yeah.
People know him, but some people also
honestly,
no clue.
And honestly, I got in school, I got electricity, basic electricity and things like that, and they never mentioned to me Nikola Tesla. It was always Edison this or this person that, but the basics, the ground of all these inventions Nikola Tesla, they never got mentioned to me. So he has been wiped out of the history books. That's really unfortunate. And thanks to
the prestige.
Elon Musk.
Okay.
Thanks to Elon Musk, he gets a little bit of his name back because he named the car brand after that person, and that's why it's Tesla. And then I mentioned one day to somebody, Nikola Tesla. Oh, the inventor of the car? No.
No, I'm sure someone didn't say that. You're lying.
No, I'm not lying. I'm really serious. So yeah, that person
That's a good
deserved it.
answer. I mean, alternating current and direct current. That concept alone
Yes.
is.
And they actually now I think it's in Silicon Valley, they have now a statue which admits free Wi-Fi to everybody in the vicinity as an honor to Nikola Tesla. So at least they have something about him.
Great.
Cool.
What to say, Kevin? It's
I
a
just
great
have,
answer.
Before we finish, I just have one more question. Can I
Yes.
finally eat the bar?
Yes,
Yeah,
finally.
okay, thank you.
I was waiting. You got all the stuff, and they're just there. And
They will be finished.
and I like how they're
Strategically placed.
but the bar is closer to him. It's like, yeah. It's like the sun bites are yours. Okay, the bar is mine.
So if you look over there, you can actually.
So Kevin, hi. You never heard this question before, but what advice would you give to? Obviously, you are a fit person.
Semi-fit.
Well,
Yeah.
You're. Let's say you're fitter than. Let's say you're fitter than me. Okay, like I'm not
Above average.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. What's your advice for someone who, total beginner, just starting and wants to? I'm not saying become like a bodybuilder.
No.
And go to LA and.
No, that's a different.
I mean, just someone just basic wants to do the basic things to keep their body fit and functional. and no, but at least to have some power, some stamina.
Okay.
And,
There's only one solution. Start lifting.
Okay.
I'll explain that a little bit further.
Not the answer I expected. I thought he was gonna say eat well and
well, if you break
start
it,
lifting. It's like the meme.
That's it.
Do you lift, bro?
Yeah, but it actually comes down to that because if you break it down a little bit, okay, food is important, but and cardio is not that important actually. In the beginning, maybe it is, but if you have a normal shape, you have to start lifting. And I'm not talking about the gym equipment. No, you go to loose barbells, and you start doing deadlifts. You start doing back squats, and that's something that trains your whole body. Every single muscle in your body will be trained.
Well, that's great.
To get in shape.
I just want to say something because I read something somewhere about. Because when you say lifting, do you mean that's bodybuilding?
No. Bodybuilding is totally different. Bodybuilding, you go to a gym and you start fixating
and you get
on
your
one
spotter.
part. Yes,
your spotter
there we go.
With the Lebanese tank top.
Yeah.
and you just put the spotter and you got me, bro. Yeah, I got you. And then now everyone knows that I'm working out.
That's a perfect depiction, actually.
I'm telling you.
So
and then they go to Kite Beach with the paddleboard.
There we go. And then you see it? Yeah. There we go.
A small, medium, and a large pizza. Yeah, I want to go to the gym. That's right over there. It's right over there.
He got it. He's got it. Yeah. So I don't go to a gym.
Okay.
My thing is more CrossFit. It has nothing to do with the equipment you see in a normal gym. So I train more with loose weights and body weight. Loose weights, like the barbells with the weights on the side, the big barbells. Why? Because it trains your body better because you learn to keep natural movement. You learn how to keep balance. And in the meantime, you get more weight on your body, which helps develop the muscles, basically. That's a basic depiction. I don't like the machines which you see in the gym, because that's purely if you go that direction.
Okay.
Yes.
No, but my question though was because I read somewhere.
For me, it's more functionality above
well, let's say
shape and things like that.
Yeah, take the technology.
Yeah, correct. But with the functionality, if you become stronger, you get the athletics with it, if you do it right. So that's a plus, but you don't do it for the athletics only.
Okay.
But that's
Because I read somewhere
Mm.
where it was this bodybuilding culture
Yeah.
replaced aerobics, as aerobics should have been, which is let's say the right way to be working out.
Yeah.
As in, you're using your body weight, you're breathing, your stamina,
Yeah,
your body
but-
is moving in a natural way.
Yeah, but bodybuilding is not my thing. That's purely you spend.
So the lifting is nothing to do with
no.
bodybuilding.
Me, it's purely about strength and performance.
Okay.
So for me, it's not, I'm going to train this arm so it becomes more. No, for me, it's purely I can lift 120 kg. I can do that with it. And it gives you more. Why I started actually that is because you have to see it this way. In the kind of business that I'm in and was in before as well, I have a higher chance of being involved in something that might happen, which is an emergency
that's
on
true.
site. I feel obligated for what I do that I can help a person. Let's say there's a fire or something happens and there's one person that needs to be carried out. Of course, I cannot carry 10 people.
Yeah.
But at least you can help the person who's with you, your colleague, something happens to him. You need to be able to carry that person out. I think that's obligated for me to be at least show up a little bit in shape. I feel it like an obligation.
Yeah, no, that is true.
Because I dedicate-
that is a very valid point.
I dedicate my work to the public safety, basically. But if I can't even take care of myself, how can I take care of others? And that's always been in my mind. And that's actually been taught by my good friend and previous boss, actually, in Belgium. And he's a medic. So he does the same executive protection. And on top of that, he's a medic as well. And he said, well, if you can take care of yourself, how are you going to take care of others? And I always carry that with me. And that's why I do this. It's not to look good or okay, that comes with it. That's a nice plus. and it's enjoyable, yes. But the main point is that I can actually, when the situation happens, which I hope it never happens, and I've not been in that situation yet, but that you can actually do something to help others as well. And for me, that's the main point in my head. That's why the reason I do all this stuff. So I know that if something happens, at least I know what I can do, and I can help that person who's with me or who's in danger. I can basically, the basic thing, I can lift them up and carry them out.
Yes, exactly. The most basic thing.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you, Kevin.
That's
I think that was, you explained it in a very clear and simple way.
Yeah.
To make a job that some people might not know nothing about.
Yeah.
Into something that is dangerous, exciting, interesting, and then just
and a lot of times just boring as well. But
well, yeah,
but that's part of it.
But every job is boring to
There
some
we go.
degree, right?
That's it.
Every
That's
job
it.
is boring to some
Yeah,
degree. Such as this show. Get off. Anyway, but
So,
thank you, Kevin.
and
Is there anything else you want to say or share with us?
No,
Because
I really appreciate it that I'm part of this. So it's a good experience.
Our
and
pleasure.
I'm getting extra food with it as well. So that's the big plus.
time to work out after that.
Yes. Thank you very much. Appreciate
Cool.
it. Thanks.
Yeah.